Jeep Gladiator Emergency Kit Essentials. These are the must-haves, the bare minimums in the case of an emergency. Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome back to Rob Motive JT. These are the Jeep Gladiator Emergency Kit Essentials. You know, as I've added to my fleet over here, I've got 3 trucks. I look to see what I've got stocked in there in the case of an emergency. You know, stuff that you might need to get you out of a jam if it's nothing real serious. Now, obviously, if your motor blows up, you're probably not going to rebuild it on the side of the road. So here we go. Number 1, jumper cables. Pretty simple thing. If you're somewhere and you leave your lights on, and I've done this, you come out, you turn the key or push the button, and all you get is a click or nothing. And then realize it's because you drained the battery. Very handy to have jumper cables with you, assuming you can find a kind soul to go ahead and give you a jump. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say, well, I'll just call a service. Yeah, but you got to sit there and wait for 1, 2, 3 hours, however long it takes for them to get there. And that's if you're near a populated area. What if you're at a rest stop somewhere on a trip? Number 2, gloves. You never know what you might get into. And you got to protect your hands so that you can do what you need to do, like change a tire. You know, if it's cold outside, it's freezing, be kind of nice to have something to protect your hands while you're trying to manhandle or woman-handle that great big heavy tire, especially if you have something aftermarket on the truck. I've had to do that as well, not in really inclement weather, but even in the summer in a parking lot. Kind of nice to have something to protect your hands while you're trying to muscle that tire off. Number 3, a flashlight. And make sure that you keep fresh batteries around. Matter of fact, I was thinking about this because I'm going to put something in each one of my trucks, hopefully mounted along the side of the seats. But I was thinking, you know, is it smart to put the batteries in? I mean, batteries will keep for what, up to a couple of years, I think, if you just leave them in the package. Don't put the batteries in the flashlight. Store them somewhere separately from the flashlight so that when you need them, they'll actually have a little juice left in them. You know, nothing would be worse than it's dark, you're trying to change a tire or do something, you grab that flashlight that you've mounted on the side of your seat in your Jeep, and it doesn't work. Keep the batteries separate. Leave them in the package. Number 4, a tire pressure gauge. You know, it's amazing to me how the condition or how poor the conditions are at gas stations or anywhere you go to pump up your tires, right? They never have gauges that work. So you don't know what you're doing. Are you putting in 20 pounds or 80 pounds? Who knows? Nothing would be worse than to overflate the tire and pop it. I mean, it can happen. Tire gauges are next to nothing in price. And I would get one of the old-fashioned ones, you know, the needle that pops out of the end, not the funky, fancy ones that require batteries. Because as soon as you need it, the battery's going to be dead and it won't work anyway. And they're cheap. They cost, most cases, less than $1. Number 5 rather, a tarp. You know, I didn't think about this until, I think it was my buddy Randall, or maybe somebody else on the channel actually, but they suggested a tarp. It was someone else, and they actually sent me one. It's hanging right over there. It's gonna go in my truck. I was using it for video purposes. See, they're multifaceted. But if you're out, again, the weather sucks, you've got mud or ice or snow or whatever all over the ground, and you have to change a tire, you don't want to have to roll around in all that gunk and gook, right? Throw down a tarp. Get a cheap one. You don't have to spend a fortune on one and then just throw it away if it's ruined, if it's covered in mud and ugh. But it would save you from getting covered in all kinds of stuff if you need to be down on the ground changing a tire or something. Number 6, Tiedowns. You know, these are handy for all kinds of things, right? If you're out, I mean, it is a truck. The Gladiator's a truck, right? You might haul something in the back sometime. Be nice to be able to tie it down so it's not flying around all over the place. They're not that expensive either. You can buy packs of them, different lengths, different sizes, all that kind of stuff. Pretty cheap to get. Just throw them in the back somewhere, and when you need them, they will be there. I'm struggling with this right now myself. I've got 3 trucks, but I've only got 1, maybe 2 sets of tie downs. So of course, when I need to tie something down, and I've had this happen, either selling stuff that I've hauled off to meet someone or whatever, I got to pull them out of another truck, and now that truck doesn't have any in it. Tie downs are fantastic. Number 7, a screwdriver and pliers. Just a rudimentary couple of pieces of tools, right? You never know when you're going to have to do something little. Maybe you can't get something off. It's too strong or too tight to get off with your fingers. You know, I'll give you an example. I was recently messing around with the jack in the back of the Gladiator. And you know, it tightens down with that little screw-like thing or whatever. And I must have really tightened it hard the last time I was messing with it because I couldn't get it off with my hand. So imagine you're out somewhere, you got a flat tire, you got everything else, you're ready to roll, you're ready to get it off, but you can't get the jack out because it's too tight. If you had a simple pair of pliers, you could have grabbed that little twisty thing and just pull it off. Pretty simple to do if you have the right tools. Number 8, and this is getting a little bit more extravagant, I suppose, although they're not that expensive either, 70, 80 bucks for a decent one. And I'm talking about a little mini air compressor. Again, you can't find air anywhere. When you stop at a gas station, typically they don't work. They don't fill up your tire. If you have one with you, you can use your own. Plug it into the cigarette lighter, or in most cases these days, it's off the battery, and fill up your tire. Pretty simple to use. They're compact, they're small, they're easy to store. Definitely a must-have as part of the Gladiator Emergency Kit. And lastly, maybe 2 more. Number 9, a knife, a simple knife. Now, you don't have to have some big buck knife or a Rambo knife or something like that. Just something simple if you need to cut something. I mean, they're easy to store. You just throw them in your center console. Forget about it until you need it, and then it's there. And that's the best time to have one. When you think about it, you remember, oh, I did put one of those in there. Then you can carry on. Lastly, we'll call this one kind of a bonus. This is a little bit more extravagant, but it depends on the situation, the environment. Flares. Let's say you're out somewhere, you're on a highway, semis are zooming back and forth, and you get a flat tire. You need to pull off, right? It's not like you can continue to drive. So you pull off the side of the road. You want to be able to be seen. And you don't want to leave your vehicle on, at least not without running. And then you're going to run your gas out, depending. But you don't want to leave it running, or leave it on rather, with just the battery, because then you'll get that tire changed and your battery's dead. So a couple of flares or something just to throw around, throw out in the road, so that when semis and other vehicles are going by and it's pitch black dark outside, they can see you. It's a safety thing. Something simple. Again, they're not uber expensive either. Anyway, these are just a few Gladiator Emergency Kit Essentials. Must-haves. Things that'll make your life a heck of a lot easier should you ever find yourself in an emergency situation. Leave a comment. Let me know. Do you guys carry this kind of stuff with you? What else would you suggest? What am I leaving off? I'd be curious to know. Also, real quick, I do have 2 additional channels. Rob Motive, all about my 2021 Toyota Tacoma, and Rob Motive FST, all about my 2021 Toyota Tundra. Check them out, and if you're interested, why not subscribe? Don't forget to click that notification bell so that you don't miss out on any upcoming videos. And do me a favor, smash that subscribe button on the way out. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.